Weather portion of Ag Week now. Has winter come early to the northern plains? We certainly have run into a spell of colder weather this weekend, and it's going to get much colder as we go through the week. At least some pretty chilly nights coming our way. We've had a few little snows, some areas more than others. Some of it's mostly melted. We don't have that wide expanse of heavy snow cover yet, but there certainly is some snow on the ground here and there, and it has kind of a wintry feel, the atmosphere does. Question is, are we going to see the ground again? Is this it? Well, we certainly have the weather pattern right now that has brought cold air to drop down into the northern plains. It's dropped pretty far south, and it will stick around for a while. But notice the northern polar jet stream and the southern branch, weaker branch of the jet, both right now have kind of a southwest to northeast direction out of them. That's significant. And keep in mind that down south it's still quite warm. Temperatures, in fact, this weekend have been very warm down in Texas with some record heat possible. So at any point in time, all we need is a switch in the winds and it would be very easy to get that warm air to come northward again. After all, the snow is not widespread, so that's not any barrier. There are no mountain ranges between here and the warm air, and the jet stream has not really gone that far south just yet. So my suspicion is we may have a cool November overall relative to average, but I don't really think now is the start of winter. Now, that being said, we certainly have a cold weather pattern, and colder weather has dropped into the northern plains for the time being anyway. However, as the week goes along, it'll sort of moderate from time to time. I do expect more cold weather to drop southward, and parts of the way south will continue to have some very warm temperatures. And by this weekend, we'll be back to some very cold weather again here across the north before that shifts on to the eastern part of the country. Precipitation, some scattered snows at the end of the weekend, but that should be moving into rain as it moves to the eastern seaboard. For the most part, this week looks fairly quiet. There may be some little shots of snow, flurries mostly, and a few areas of very light scattered rains, but nothing too major. Toward the end of the week and the weekend, there will probably be a push into the Pacific Northwest, and that rain system could yield the second week, November 12th through the 18th, a few snows coming out into the Great Plains, and perhaps one of those will lay down more substantial snow cover, but still the jet stream appears to be in a meandering mood. So my suspicion is this second week of November will yield some warm temperatures as well as some cold. So I'm not really convinced yet that winter has made that big jump to solid winter state. I think we're having a cold snap. We've had a few snows and we'll likely see some more, but in between there will likely be some melting. And although it feels very wintry out there right now, we're not going to have a lot of heat in November, and we'll certainly segueing in, but I'm not really sure to call this the start of winter just yet.